Now, unemployment in the United States declined slightly last month. 8.1% of the workforce are without jobs, a fall of 0.1%. The world's biggest economy added just 115,000 jobs in April, but this wasn't enough to move markets higher in the US because many had hoped for a figure closer to 170,000. Well, the oil price fell below $100 a barrel on the news, and the Dow Jones in New York is also down. And joining us from the New York Stock Exchange is Michelle Fleury. Michelle, as we said there, the figures disappointing, the market's not reacting well.
No, I mean, you have to look back and see a day earlier what economists had been forecasting. They were looking for around 160,000 jobs, roughly speaking, to be created. Instead, when they woke up this morning, the number coming out of the Bureau of Labour Statistics here was closer to 115,000, and that's why you're seeing this sharp sell-off on the market. We've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average down around 120 points, 130 points I should say right now. The S&P 500 also down more than 1%. And oil prices, last time I looked, it was just under 90, it was just around $99 a barrel. The other thing is we're also seeing the price of gold climb sharply, up $8. All of this again, as investors look for sort of somewhere safe to put their money. That's why you're seeing gold tick higher, because of this disappointing jobs report.
Now, Michelle, we did go through a period of having lots of very strong, very positive, very hopeful economics figures out of the US. From December through to February, we had almost 250,000 jobs being added every month. But that fell sharply in March. It was initially we were told it was 120,000, but that has been revised up now to 154,000. But that's still a fall, and this is a fall again in April to 115,000. Can we see a downward trend here?
Well, I mean, I was reading a research note from economists at Barclays Capital, and they're sort of saying the jury's out right now. They don't want to reach any conclusions just yet. They want to see a couple more months of statistics before they come to any conclusion. But I think you just have to look at the market reaction to know that clearly people are worried that possibly the growth we've seen in America's job market, the improvement, may be running out of steam, and that's the big concern. Now, obviously, 115,000 jobs, we're still seeing jobs created, but it's certainly not enough to try and sort of absorb all the new entrants into the labour market. And another interesting figure is if you look at the number of participants in the American labour market, that also fell to 63.6. And that's the lowest level not seen really since the 1980s, since December 1981. Just to say that again, Rachel, 1981. So certainly we're still seeing many Americans who want to work, unable to find jobs, and that's the big concern, certainly when you're 6 months away also from an election.
Well, as you said, we are 6 months away from an election. How will these figures be interpreted politically?
Well, I mean, I would suspect that Republican Mitt Romney, who's been accusing the White House of not doing enough to try to promote jobs, will probably try and jump on these numbers to say, look, you know, this is proof of what I'm saying. On the other hand, President Obama, seeking re-election later this year, obviously he's been sort of riding on that wave of better jobs data that we've been seeing earlier this year. The key thing is obviously what's going to happen going on in the months ahead, and that's something both politicians and economists and America's central banker Ben Bernanke will all be watching closely.
Michelle Fleury from the New York Stock Exchange, thank you for your time. And we've just been hearing that LinkedIn shares have jumped by 10% off the positive news they had yesterday.